What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to be learning how to fight like Alex Pereira. So this is going to be an interesting video. I know that a lot of people are interested in this guy's striking style, so please like, subscribe, and let's roll right into this thing. So first of all, Alex Pereira, if you don't know who he is, then I don't know why you clicked on the video, but he's a guy that's got a 6'4" frame. He's fought at 185 pounds. He's now going to be fighting Jan Blachowicz at UFC 291. At 205 pounds. So he's fought at two different weight classes before in Glory Kickboxing. So we're going to be breaking down a few different things with Alex Pereira, and we are going to start with number one, which is the stance. The stance of Alex Pereira is quite unique. You're going to hear a lot of different commentators out there. I've seen breakdowns on ESPN, MMA, UFC. I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, but I'm able to break this guy down a lot better than what a lot of these professionals have done when it comes to Alex Pereira. I've been watching this guy a long time, so here we go. Alex Pereira's posture reminds me of a kangaroo. So, you know, a little bit of humor in here, but it's true. Now look how the kangaroo stands. Very very upright, very tall, very just upright, chest out and broad. Now tell me that that does not look similar to a kangaroo. See how Alex Pereira is standing? Very upright, very tall, very straight. You know, look at that again. Up very tall, very straight. Okay. His hands are forward. He holds his hands very much like this. His shoulders are very square to the target. He does blade his feet, which we're going to get into as we progress here. That creates some very unique opportunities for Alex Pereira. So that is the stance. We got the stance down. He stands up very tall. He will start the fight very bladed, and he will stand very long. But as the fight kind of progresses, depending on what techniques he's going to throw, which we're going to touch on throughout this video, his stance will vary and shift and change throughout the fight. So let's take a look at obviously something that has came about for him, leg kicks. So what's interesting about leg kicks with Alex Pereira is back in kickboxing for a lot of his career, that was actually how he lost a lot of his fights. He was getting decimated by leg kicks. All right. He's a guy that, you know, just overall, he was getting his legs torn apart by guys like Jason Wilness. And then later in his career, Alex Pereira, as we're going to roll the clip here, you could see against Israel Adesanya, these are things that Alex Pereira has implemented: checking kicks, throwing low kicks, tearing up your legs to hinder your movement, and applying these things, switching up the levels. You know, he's a guy that has a very unique kicking style, as you can see, as this is on Alex Pereira's Instagram. A lot of what he's able to do is not what they will teach you in a traditional gym. Okay. And here's what I mean. Let's take a look at this. So this is him against Jason Wilness. Now look at his posture here. Now he's a lot taller than Jason Wilness, so it's kind of hard to gauge that. But what I'm trying to show you is look how he squats. It almost looks like he's sitting in a chair. All right. He squats, he drops his rear end down, and almost like he's trying to sit in a chair if someone put a chair behind him. His hands stay up near his face. Well, his left hand does. And he squats down and just snaps the kick out. There's no rotation in his shoulders. Remember how I showed you here? His stance is very square. Look at this kick. His legs, and look at his leg positioning. It's the exact same. This is why he is so lethal with the leg kicks, and why, if you heard Eugene Behrman, Israel Adesanya's coach, said they had a very hard time checking the leg kicks and dealing with those against Pereira in the rematch in MMA, which went down in April. They trained to deal with those, and they could not pick up on those. And that would be a reason, is because the way the guy hides the kicks, there's no rotation in his shoulders. His hips don't move. He squats in the chair. It's more of a Dutch style kickboxing technique. Very unique. And again, if you go into a martial arts gym, they do not teach you how to kick like Alex Pereira. They are going to teach you to kick like this, like Israel Adesanya. A good, solid, beautiful technique when it comes to kicking is to pivot on the ball of your front foot and completely turn over and get more of a whipping action, which is what Adesanya is doing here. With Pereira, as you can see here, there's not much of a whipping action. His shoulders are still almost square to the target, but he's flipping these things up there. It's almost like there's no rotation. It's just tap, tap at the legs, and then he just flips it up there. You know, it's very hard to get a read on what this guy's doing because of how unique his techniques are. So Moving on to the left high kick. Okay, so we went over the right kick, the right leg kick, and then here is the left high kick that he landed on Israel Adesanya here, very flush. Now, you may ask, why did this land? Well, back to the stance. You see how his stance is very narrow here, that kangaroo-esque posture that I was referring to? That allows Alex Pereira's back leg to come closer to his lead leg. So that way he's able to inch forward and touch that lead leg a lot easier than what it would be if he was in a much longer stance. So here, I'm going to throw up this video here that is on his Instagram as well, where he is doing some pad work, and you get to see he's checking kicks, blocking kicks. See that, how he just migrates forward and touches that lead leg like that. You see that, how beautiful that is? A lot of guys are not able to do that. And the reason Alex Pereira is able to do that is because his stance, he will slowly inch that back leg forward. Okay, he slowly starts to creep that back leg forward, which then gives him the ability to fire off that lead leg kick without you really being able to see it. Now, the negative of that is you're kind of off balance. So if you go up against a good grappler, a good wrestler, they could probably push you and you might be off balance, or they could get in on your hips easier for a takedown. So you can't just spam kicks like that. And keep in mind throughout this video, if you do like what I'm talking about here, like, subscribe, help your boy out. But a lot of this works for Alex Pereira because of his frame. He is 6'4". He's a big guy. He's got a 79 to 80 inch reach. So keep all of that in mind. Now, however, some of these techniques maybe are something that could work for you, that you could apply to your own game. Now we're going to go to what makes him really special, and that is checking. All right, we really got to see him take this to another level when he fought Israel Adesanya in their first MMA meeting. And if you don't know what a check is, here you go. ESPN MMA was talking about it as the kick that changed Adesanya Pereira 1. It was not the kick that Adesanya threw, that he stumbled and tripped and, oh, the perennial nerve and this and that. No. What you're seeing here is a perfectly timed check by Alex Pereira. All right. And a check, if you don't know what that is, here's Muay Thai, a clip of Rod Tang checking a kick by Jonathan Haggerty. This is Muay Thai at the highest level. It is more of a Muay Thai traditional technique, checking, blocking, whatever you want to call it, to defend against leg kicks. A lot of guys in MMA lack this ability. And if they would learn how to do these different things, it would help prevent the calf kicks from continuously being thrown. Because if you check someone's kick and they land with their foot and they hit your shin, probably going to break their foot. If they land with the shin, yes, it's going to hurt you, but not nearly as bad as it's going to hurt them. And it will discourage them from continuing to throw kicks. So here again, you get to see now the blocks and checks can go anywhere from down at the legs to, if you try and throw it to the body, you could bring your leg all the way up in the air, which this is not exactly something you could do in MMA due to the fact that there are takedowns and there are elements of the game where you can't just pick your leg up in the air and do that. But Alex Pereira is very much formed a unique style that works for him. He changes stances. He adapts throughout the fight depending on what techniques he is going to throw. He's a very unique fighter. All right. And a lot of people are missing a lot of these details and a lot of the breakdowns I've seen. So I just thought I would make this video. But before we are done with the video, we can't talk about Alex Pereira without talking about the left hook. It's by far his most deadly weapon, but I put right hand on here as well because I'm going to show you some things that he's done that, first of all, this guy is big into archery, right? So if obviously you know what archery is, you have to be very, very, very good with, from your controlled breathing to firing off an accurate shot. You have to be patient. And obviously it takes accuracy and takes skill. Alex Pereira does a lot of that. And when you see him fight and the way he throws his punches, very, very archery-esque. And here's what I mean by that. All right. Let's see this right hand, this beautiful straight right hand that he lands on Israel Adesanya. All right. So he hits him with a clean right hand, which he'll then follow up usually with some other strikes. But here against Sean Strickland, after the brutal left hook that we all know about, on the way down, as he's falling backwards, Alex Pereira steps forward and drills him in the face with a right hand. Looks easy. Can't tell you how hard that is to do. On the way down, full extension, KO power. That's accuracy at its finest. But here's the, the straight right hand that he likes to throw that you could see when he lands, man, the effect it has on these guys. All right. And then moving to the left hook that we know that he's landed on Israel Adesanya, which was kind of the, that technique that he's able to catch him with. This is the one that landed and ultimately hurt Izzy and was able to get him out of there. And then the famous image here of the one that put Izzy out in their kickboxing meeting years ago that kind of started this whole thing between Adesanya and Pereira. He was the first guy to knock out Adesanya with that brutal left hook. He threw the right hand, followed with the left hook behind it. And there is one other technique that Alex Pereira that I'll throw in as a bonus into this video that you might want to watch, that you should look out for when he in his upcoming fight against Jan Blachowicz, which is this, the flying switch knee that he has thrown all throughout his career. He landed it beautifully on Andreas Michailidis in his first performance in the UFC, his very first fight. He landed this to start the second round and won by brutal knockout. After he hit Michailidis with this, you just knew the fight was over. It's devastating. You just see the guy's heads tilt back. He's thrown this in kickboxing so many times against guys like Jason Wilness, and he tried to throw it on Israel Adesanya. Adesanya just got out of the way. Man, Alex Pereira is one dangerous man, especially on the feet. He is an elite level kickboxer. The one negative that I will point out about him is everything is mainly pros. I am going to point out one negative, which is right here. This is the shot that Adesanya was able to land on him in the first fight that hurt him really bad. And the basically the shot that more or less was able to put Pereira out in their second meeting in the UFC, which is that left hand where he just kind of leaves it out there as a sticky jab and follows up with the right hand behind it and is able to hurt Alex Pereira. But if we take a look at that again, he likes to use his hands to frame. He likes to kind of paw like this, use his right hand to kind of, negate the lead hand, but he leaves his arms out here like this and does a lot of this stuff. And Israel Adesanya started to grab his hands and forearms and pull it down and then throw shots over the top. So that is one of the flaws of Alex Pereira's style. So if, I hope you all like this video, like, subscribe, help me out, man. I appreciate it all. And hopefully you learned something today about Alex Pereira. He's a very unique striker. There's really nobody quite like him. He has fantastic fight IQ. He understands what he's doing in there. He's not just this big, intimidating, meathead that people are making it out to be. There's a lot of technique and a lot of subtle things that this guy does that truly makes him one of the best strikers we have ever seen in all of combat sports. But like I said, that left hook, his signature move, maybe the greatest left hook in combat sports history. Whenever he lands it, it hurts people or damn near knocks him out. And his power translates from 185 to 205. And realistically, I think his power would ultimately translate to heavyweight as well. What do you all think about Alex Pereira? Do you think he's going to beat Jan Blachowicz coming up? And I hope you all learned something in this video. I appreciate you all. See you in the next one.